Hello. In this video, I'm going to go over Apex 11.4, and this section I'm breaking up into two videos because there's so much in this section. There's this much plus more in this section. It's a lot. But if we can understand this conceptually, it all becomes a lot easier, and then you don't have to work every problem from scratch. You can pick and choose the different tools we've been practicing to solve these problems. This is posted in your student Hapara, and I really recommend though that you just take time to write it out yourself. That way your brain can process the different pieces and how they're interacting together. So I'm just going to go over this again real quick. We have our three forms, or three different ways of writing a quadratic formula. We have standard form, which has your a, b, and c values. We have factored form, which has your nice pieces we can solve by setting equal to 0. And you have your vertex form, which is great for finding your minimum and maximum vertex point of a parabola. So here's all the formulas, and here's the main tools that's used in each of these techniques. Here, I want to point out that if you set x equal to 0, and this is true for all of the problems, you can always plug in 0 for x to see where your y-intercept is. So whenever you're asked to find the y-intercept, that is where x is 0. It's on the x-axis. So this is your y-intercept, or your initial value. Now, if you want to find your x-intercepts, which we typically do a lot of times, whenever you're just told to solve a quadratic formula, this is what it's asking for. What are the x-intercepts? And the way we find that is we plug 0 in for y. It's a little bit opposite, but if you think about, if you want to find what x is, you don't want y to matter. You want y to be 0. And if you want to find y, that should be some number, right? So x is 0. They just work back and forth. The vertex is your maximum or minimum point. And this is on your axis of symmetry. It's the mirror, where everything on either side, if I drew a perfect parabola, would be mirrored off of each other. If you have been watching my videos, in a previous one I showed you that these three equations, even though they have different numbers and a different look, these were all equivalent. These created the exact same parabola. We just looked at the graphs and they were just layered right on top of each other. So these are going to be the three examples that I use in my next video, which is all about finding the vertex. So in order to be successful in this section, 11.4, I recommend you write this all out for yourself, and you really take time to understand how each tool is used to find different pieces of our parabola.